platform. All about the talk. New in the block, I like my shoe with no socks. The platform for the youth, by the youth. From the sun to the moon, we go shoot for the stars. The platform, the thought counts. We street bound, prepare yourself, but to go now. To the platform, pause, take action. Don't just talk, shop. We on the platform. The platform. It's the platform.
South Africa's femicide rate is 5 times more than the global rate. Every 8 hours, a woman is killed, and at least half of those women die in the hands of their intimate partners. Femicide is a killing of women in relationships by their partners. My name is Baliswa Ntlahla. I will be your host for today. This is the platform with the PH. This year only, we have seen so many cases of women dying in the hands of their partners, like Karabo Mukwena, who was killed by her partner. Today we'll be discussing this topic with our lovely panel here. And on my left side, I have Letitia. Letitia, can you please introduce yourself too?
I'm Letitia. I'm not originally from the Western Cape. I'm from the Eastern Cape. I'm here to study, and I do think that this is a very important topic, especially for women, because women out there are getting judged very easily, and whatever we do, guys depend on everything we do. But I honestly think that women are more powerful than males.
Thank you very much. And we have Tsidiso. I hope I pronounced your name right. Can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, my name is Tsidiso Victor Maneli. I'm a filmmaker. I'm here to stand for the man. I believe nobody is speaking for the man, and it is about time somebody speaks about the kind of abuse we are also suffering from.
Okay, thank you so much. On my right, I have Nicole. Nicole, can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Nicole, I'm a student,
And I have Nandi. Nandi, can you please introduce yourself, please?
Hi, my name is Nandi Pakibushe. I'm also currently a student. Yeah.
Okay. You have had all of their names. And Letitia, what do you understand about femicide, and what do you think causes it?
I think lack of communication is the main thing, because in relationships, people have the lack of communicating because one has a cell phone who has certain pages on social media and the other one doesn't, which creates like tension, and there's confusion within the relationship, which causes from both sides, the male and female side, to do unexpected things. Things like, say for instance, throwing the phone against the wall is a very good example of that. Because like last year, a friend of my mom, her husband killed her for just a simple reason, because of a cell phone. I mean, seriously, why is that important? I mean, if you want to be in a stable physical relationship, you have to communicate with your partner to have a better understanding of the relationship. So I honestly think that to build a relationship and keep strong, it comes from both sides.
Oh, so you are saying communication is one of the things that affect that end up in people getting killed. Okay. What's your take on what Letitia is saying?
I'd first like to say I am against the killing of women and children. I am against raping women, and in fact I'm against any kind of violence against women. But I think, and this is my opinion, I think we see so much femicide in South Africa because men are crying. This is a cry, you know. There's nothing men can do except to cry. Now, I'm not justifying their killings, but I'm saying a lot of South African men suffer from mental, emotional, verbal, and even physical abuse from their homesteads to the workplace and even in society. And at this present moment, there is no organization that is advocating for the male boy child or even for the males. So society needs now to look at this in both ways. You know, we need to understand that there is a problem that we are not addressing about our men, and we need to address that problem instead of attack it. She said a good point on communication in relationships. Communication is very vital. If men and women do not have good communication, nothing goes wrong. If one thinks their communication skills are much more better, or if they think they should be heard more than the other one, that's going to be a big problem.
Would you say that an ego plays a big role as a man, that when they have problems, they don't talk to other people? Because it's true, there isn't many organizations that actually help men, but at the end of the day, you are, as an individual, have to take responsibility for your actions. Do you think that ego plays a big role, and do you think that men need to talk more with each other, at least?
Well, in some cases, it can be justified to ego, but I think the biggest problem right now is that when you're a child, nobody's teaching a boy child how to behave. You are thrown with so many things and you just digest them. There is social castration that is taking place of men. There is economic castration that is taking place, right?
Yes.
So now we need to help the boy child. We need from grassroots level to teach these young boys how to behave, to teach these young boys how to take care of women. You know, we need to desensitize media and make sure that what these young boys see on social media about women is beautiful things. You know, if a young boy grows up on social media, the only thing he sees is a half-naked woman.
Yes.
That's the only thing he'll want to see till he dies,
Yeah.
a half-naked woman. So we need to desensitize even our women, because femicide is not a problem on just males only. This is a both gender problem.
Would you say because of that, we have to sympathize with men?
No woman has to sympathize or bow down or give themselves to a woman. No, to a man, I mean. As women, you need to understand who you were before now. I think the biggest problem is that women don't understand who were they before right now. Somebody needs to teach you about African women, or just about the woman in particular. What is a woman in society, and how should a woman behave, and what constitutes what a woman is. Instead of women, I understand. We can wait for that, that's fine.
Okay, okay. Nandi, what's your take on what he's saying?
Wow. Okay. First of all, I'd like to on the topic itself, the
Yes.
subject. I think femicide in itself is like a psychological, I don't know, like imbalance of some sort, because any human being, like, how do you justify taking somebody's life? You know what I mean? On that basis. So I feel like whether you man, you woman, first of all, you have no right to take anyone's life. And then secondly, on this topic, it's very sad for me because as it's been seen like in the media and whatnot, that all of these killings have now been very dominant within the black community. And it speaks a lot about the type of men we have in the black community, you know. And personally, I think that ego does play a huge role in it. I think that trauma plays a huge role in it. I think certain teachings or behaviors that have been passed on from generation to generation plays a huge role in it. And I do feel that men are to blame for it, and as well as the women, I think, to a certain degree, because I feel like the black woman has been very submissive, or like doormat kind of personality, where they just allow a lot of things to happen to them because, okay, you have to respect the man, and you know, you have to bow down to the man, and you know, the man is the head of the household, and you know, so therefore they kind of perpetuate certain behaviors within the men, and these behaviors are then passed on to their boy children, and So I feel like, I don't know, it's a psychological problem that needs to be addressed, because you can't speak about killing someone over a phone. You know, for instance, like, how do you
There's
justify?
no justification
You know,
for something like that, yes.
like for any other thing as well. You know, it could be like cheating, or I don't know, like power struggles within the relationship, one partner wanting to feel dominant over the other. So like, you can't justify it. So I don't know, I feel like we need to, like, as a group of people, being the black community, like, look at the relationships we have with ourselves and with our partners, because I feel like it's about, like, appreciating yourself and loving yourself first, and knowing your worth to yourself, and like what you came here for, before, like, now depending on others and wanting to latch on to certain, I don't know, relationships and stuff like that.
Okay. I'm not sure, guys, if you would agree with me in this case, is that femicide is a result in most cases of abuse. Yeah. Nicole, what do you think about that? Do you think that abuse does play a big role, and what can a woman do if they find themselves in that type of situation?
I grew up around abusive relationships. I wasn't in one, but I see it all the time. And as a young woman, I see that a lot of young women think that it's supposed to be like that. Yeah. And I don't think it's supposed to be like. It's frustrating for me that some women are weak. They are accepted that they stay in that relationships, which makes me angry, because you have a choice. Everyone has a choice. That is why there is a woman's right. So a lot of women fought and died so that they have a right to love and to say something. So I would say it is wrong, and leave the relationships. Once the man talks away to you in a way that you do not feel comfortable, or he doesn't appreciate you, leave. There's a lot of fish in the sea, so just leave.
You see, in these cases, most women, they just stay. They stay. You can talk to a person and say, this is bad. You can see it. You even see it yourself. But then they stay. What can you really say to them so that they end up saving their own lives instead of staying until it's too late?
I had a few friends who actually stayed in the relationship. No matter what you tell them to do, they don't listen. Either they think you are jealous of the relationship, or just think that you are in for them. So I would just say, like, if something happens to you, it's your own fault. So if you don't listen, you don't listen. So die.
You have had people what our panel had to say. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be discussing this topic further.
From the sun to the moon, we go shoot for the stars.
What caused them? Sometimes it's a lot of things, can be economical or social problem that led to the domestic violence. But in order to prevent that, I should think the government somewhere, it need to be involved and takes a roadshow to educate everybody, including both gender, about this domestic violence, this about abusing or killing women and children.
The platform, all about the talk.
We are back, and we are still talking about femicide. This is a very important topic that we're talking about today, and it is something that really needs to be unpacked. We need to start at the bottom of things. Letitia, what do you think it contributes to these behaviors that men end up abusing women and women staying in those relationships?
I think it comes from a background where you grow up, because, well, in my family, for example, they're mostly males. It's just my sister and I have like 4 brothers. So it all starts with your parents, how they teach you to control your life. Okay, well, not control it, but to live in a certain way. So if a boy, for example, grows up in an environment where there's cocaine businesses and just alcohol all over the place, and they've got like a controlling environment, they're gonna have that mindset like, okay, I own this. This is my place. This is my position. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So they've got that mindset like, okay, she's mine. I'm gonna control her. This is what I'm gonna do, and she's gonna have to do what I tell her to do. So it all comes to a point whereby we want to take control, you know, like lead the way, like just be that powerful person. So it all comes down to where you grow up, how you're growing up, how you're gonna face your challenges in life. Because my generation, we are all messed up, including me. We are not perfect. We all make mistakes, and some of us recover from it, some of us don't. There are addicts out there, alcoholics. We all communicate and take control in a different way. So for some guys to abuse a girl, like really, why would you even do that? I mean, can't you talk about something? Like I mentioned, the lack of communication. Yes. Talk about something, have a conversation, be like, yalla bruh, let's just sort this stuff out, you know? So it all comes down to one thing. How important are you to yourself to consider what you're going to do to another person? I mean, I wouldn't want you to be like, girl, what's up? You know, like have a proper conversation. Hi, how you doing? How's your day been? Have it, respect. Yeah, you know, respect is a very major thing. Like colored people, violence is always the answer, trust me. But I honestly think we just want to take control, you know, like lead the way, have your own view of things. But we should do it in a proper way, not to manage people, control people, or want to force people to do stuff. It's basic. If you want to respect yourself, respect other people as well. That's what we're learning now in the hospitality industry. Yes. I mean, you must communicate. Just that's my main thing right now. Just
it plays a very important role.
And if you can't love yourself enough to stay alive, how are you going to love someone else to be alive with you and live your life with you? I mean, you can have fun. You can have fun, sure, yes. But to a certain point, there's a limit for everything. Yeah. Seriously, there's a limit for everything.
Titi, so you did mention before that our backgrounds also really play a very important role. As a man, what can you say about that?
It is true. You are your environment. That's a truthful fact. Everybody is the environment. You basically are where you come from. And with that being said, you still can redefine who you want to be, you know. One of the major reasons that I look at in terms of femicide and I see could be potentially causing so much is material.
Yes,
you know, material. Women are so focused on material. There is no woman, and I think even here, there is no woman that wants to date a broke guy.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
How do you expect all these rich guys not to kill you? You know?
What do you mean by that?
What I'm trying to say is, if you're going for all these rich guys that already have everything, that don't value women, that don't see you as a woman but just an object or a sexual object or a trophy, whatever they see you as.
But you understand, having money doesn't mean that you are above the law.
Yes. You what I'm trying to say is right now, women should be careful of what they want in relationships.
Can I just interject there? I feel like that is such a very domineering mentality as well, a very abusive mentality as well, as to there's no justification for any form of violence and abuse towards anybody. And primitively speaking, on how man and women relate to each other, it's known that man is the provider of woman and woman takes care of the household, right? Like throughout the times, that's how it's been. So obviously with where we are right now, things have become more superficial than what they were, and therefore, like, maybe the women now prefer materialistic stuff rather than they would back in the day, you know? That still doesn't justify their killings. That's my first point. And secondly, if you look at the statistics now, it's not even with money. It has nothing to do with money. Like, you find that the people that are being killed are from ghettos, you know, they don't have money. Like, it's normal relationships where women are getting abused or getting killed, or like even in the rural areas, you know what I mean? These things are happening like at a major scale.
Would you say that it's a thing of power?
I think, like, as I'd mentioned before, it's a psychological, like, I don't know, I can't particularly say what it is about the black male, but then there's been a really, for me, in my opinion, there's been a gap somewhere where the black male just faded somewhere, you know, like, and was able to then express his voice or whatever through his fists, or because, like, it's mostly in the black households where you find that men are absent, they aren't fathers, or the alcoholics. Alcohol has taken the black community by storm, you know what I mean? That's also like a form of psychological damage that also contributes to the abuse, I feel. So I don't know, I feel like it's just a psychological thing that needs to be addressed, like it's traumas, as I said as well, you know?
If you have been following these cases of femicide, and you find on social media that especially men, they say she deserved it because looking at this lifestyle nowadays that we live, we have slave queens and they are being killed, and you say she deserved it because she likes materialistic things. Do you think, Nicole, that is also a factor? Do you think that it's one of the reasons, like material plays a big role in that? If you are providing for someone and you're not giving them what they want, then it gives them the right to take your life.
No. Abuse doesn't have color, it doesn't have material, it doesn't have anything. Like they said before, it's about where you come from, yes, what you witness. You see, it's supposed to be like that. Also, with women, if I see my mother's abused, then I'm supposed to be abused as well because she stays in a relation, which means I have to stay as well. Men are very dominant when it comes to respect. Yes. They want to be the man in the relationship. So to them it is, she has to be under me. They don't understand that the woman has to tell them what to do. They don't communicate, as Letitia said. They do not communicate. So a man feels like he has the last say. But many relationships where men would say the woman is the boss, happy life, happy wife. Yes. So to me it's like abuse is everywhere. It's not about material, it's not the color, it's not anything else. It's just your choice. If you abuse women, you abuse women. If you stay, you stay. So there is no reason for people to murder others. It's if you like murdering people, because I like stabbing people, so I really do like stabbing people. So it's my choice because I have a violent background, but it doesn't say because I have a violent background I stab people. I just like stabbing people.
Okay. I saw you were really agreeing with yes, I saw you with the slave queens and everything that is happening, but would you say they deserve it because they are slave queens? Why can't you, if you are not getting what you want in a relationship, why can't you just walk away? Find somebody else who's going to appreciate you or whatever you do for that person.
I'm against the killing of women, right?
Yes.
But I am not gonna roll over and play dead as if there's nothing major taking place, right?
Yes.
There is nobody in their rightful mind that can kill you for no reason. I'm not speaking for these killers, right? I'm not speaking for them. I am not for them. But I'm saying women should do some kind of introspection, you know?
no killing can be justified.
There could be that there's psychological issues attached to the killings, but there is nobody that will kill you out of a psychological issue. You must have done something to trigger that crazy man. You understand what I'm saying?
Why would you say maybe Oscar Pistorius killed Riva? Why would you say?
It is unfortunate I was never in Oscar and River's relationship, but I'm pretty sure, I am very sure that River did something that triggered the animal in Oscar. Here's a little example, thinking about it as a man. If I were Oscar, I'm a paraplegic, I have no feet. So I have a lot of insecurities that I grew up with, right? So now, if I get married to Riva, wow, perfect A model, right? I'll have more insecurities. If Cry looks at Riva in a certain way, I have an insecurity. If Riva says she's gonna meet Cry for the next month, business trip, I have an insecurity, you know?
But the killing is not justified. That
All
cannot
right?
justify
I'm not
it.
justifying these people killing women, right? What I'm saying is there must be something
that triggers
that
the
women are
monster.
doing to trigger this animal.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
There
but
must
then
be.
You
There
can't.
should be.
Why are you blaming?
I'm not
the
blaming women.
But then you are shifting because now you're saying there must be something.
be.
But there's
No,
story
they.
behind the story.
We don't get the
No,
real
my
story.
thing is, like, you now saying that the men shouldn't take accountability because then the reason falls on the women. When the man first takes accountability of the fact that they have their own insecurities and shouldn't shift the blame to the woman and say, because you doing this, now I'm gonna react. That's shifting the blame,
I'm not
brother.
shifting the
You know,
blame.
because the issue is within the man. Is within the person. Like, your insecurities are your own and you should be addressing it. And you can't say that, like, you live in a world full of people and you have to interact with the ones that you choose to interact with, you know what I mean? And you've chosen to be with this person, and there are other people that live in this world, and you can't forbid this person from going on trips or speaking to people. These things are gonna happen. So now, are you gonna kill everybody that interacts with your women? Are you gonna kill all the women that you date because they interact with other men? You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say.
Nobody
Like,
should kill anybody, right? And I repeat myself, I am not for femicide. I disagree with men killing women. I am here to open up this issue,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If women do not agree, they themselves, that they have a problem, right?
What is
We
the
are not
problem?
gonna get done.
You mentioned
Both of us have a problem. Male and female have this problem that is causing femicide. And the problem is we are not addressing it, right?
Yes.
We are suppressing. We are saying men are trash, men are doing this, men are that, men are that. When are we going to address this problem? When are we going to sit down and try to understand what is inside the woman that has made the woman to lose so much respect for the man? What is inside the man that has made the man to lose so much respect for the woman? Because there is definitely something taking place. And I will open up. There's something called white supremacy, and a lot of us don't understand what that is and how it works. Okay? So here's an example. Today we have so many agencies advocating for feminism, yes, lesbians and gays and every other stuff, but we have none speaking for men. So there's a problem.
because men
So,
have been speaking for
there's a
themselves
problem.
throughout the age of time. Men
How?
have been dominant.
How?
Men rule the world.
Men
Men.
don't rule the world. No. Can I?
Oh my
can I
gosh,
inform you
who's in
something?
power right now?
Men don't rule the
Men.
world. Men have never been ruling the world. It is white supremacy. That's what they teach you. That's what they've been teaching
Who
in
are
school.
kings and chiefs in
Look,
tribal?
The
men?
kings and chiefs in tribal
Who make
worlds.
decisions?
Can I make?
Well, that's
the,
because of the legacy.
The kings in tribal worlds listen to the princesses and queens.
No,
Women
they
have
don't.
always been administered as goddesses in Africa.
Never.
My
Yes,
queen,
in theory.
my queen,
In theory.
my
but
queen. Theory is the truth. In Africa, women has been regarded as goddesses. I even now regard women as goddesses, as important people in our figure. You know, without my mother, I am nothing. And yet with that statement, without my father, I am nothing. All right? So we need to balance this too. Let's stop this gender war. Let's stop women standing on one side, men on the other side. Hey people, we human beings. We need to find a way to work together. You know, let us stop these things. Let us stop saying men are trash, women are that. No, 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 no. Let us understand what is wrong with our sick society today. Okay, let us find the basis of what is wrong with both me and you. Letitia said it, nobody is perfect. Now the problem is somebody's trying to paint themselves perfect. That's the problem.
If you're saying that, because you mentioned that you then trigger the monster in the man. If you are, as a man, why haven't you created these platforms, these organizations to help each other? Because as women, that's what they have been doing, because they have suffered and have been suppressed for a long time. So they formed organizations and platforms to empower themselves. So as men, what's stopping men from creating a platform or support for each other? Because somebody has to create it. And if as women we don't understand that, but you as a man understand that you have a problem, why isn't men addressing their problems?
Good question, good question. You know, it's unfortunate, right, that men are addressing their problems, but not in a good way. Yes. That's the problem, all right? From childhood, you taught as a boy, men don't cry. Wow, so when I have problems, I don't have to cry. That's not good. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? So we need to teach these kids who they really are. We need to make sure that men and women understand that they're more or less the same thing. Whatever that can potentially make you sad, it can make me feel sad too. I'm a human being. So now the problem is that society and even women wants to see man as the strong thing. My protector, my shield. When will I stop being your shield and become human? Yes. When will I cry on your shoulder and say, I have problems, I can't pay the bills, I can't do 1, 2, 3. When will I get the chance to be that kind of man? Because once I start becoming that kind of man, guess what happens? I get classified as a gay man. Guess what happens? You know, so we need to work on these, right? We need to understand what is taking place and why are there so many movements and philosophies and words and descriptions and classifications of genders and classifications of colors and ages. Why is this taking place?
So in all, you are saying we need to dismantle this idea that we are different people and actually stand together into fighting this thing.
You know, white supremacy has figured one thing out. The only alibi we men have is you. Now, if they turn you against us, what happens to us? I can see her rolling her eyes. If they turn you against me, what happens to us? Not me, what happens to us? Because the only alibi I have is you, black strong woman. All right? The only way I can go forward is you, woman. All right? So if they turn you against me, if they make sure that you don't procreate, if they make sure that you don't like being a woman, if they make sure that you wear pants all the time, what's gonna happen to me?
Nicole, what do you think about what Tsidiso is saying?
I think I don't know what to think about it because now he's using big words.
Yeah.
Just keep it plain and simple because I don't know what to think. There is a lot of these things never get sorted out. Just as transgender, it never gets sorted out. There will always be a debate. Everything there always has to be a debate. There will always be a debate. It will never be resolved. We can talk about it, but it will always be a debate. Everyone is that disagree. She is disagreeing with you. See, there will always be someone disagreeing with you.
I think I'm not taking sides. Don't shoot me, please. Okay. I'm not taking sides.
Nobody's gonna. I'll make sure nobody does that. Yes.
But I think it's important. It's not important to the guy's side to address such issues because they've got pride.
Yes.
they have got a lot of pride. So they don't think, I'm not preferring to you, they don't think that they should mention stuff like this because she's a woman, she's gonna sort it out. She can do whatever she wants to. But in an abusive relationship, some guys tend to threaten the girl when she wants to get out of it.
Yes.
So that makes the situation difficult for the woman. That's why us as women stand up for ourselves, because if we don't, who will? Because if I, for example, have a daughter and I don't stand up for her, who's gonna stand up for her? Her father's not gonna do that. He's got his sons to worry about. So I'm gonna stand up for myself and my daughter at the same time. So it comes back to the pride, because guys have a lot of pride, and I've experienced this. Because a guy can be like, no, you're not getting out of this relationship. How are you gonna get out of it? You can't dump me. I'm gonna come find you wherever you are. I'm gonna make sure there's a stalker stalking you, telling me exactly what you're doing, with who you're doing it, and I'm gonna come find you. That's why women get killed out there. It's pride.
Relationships are no longer safe anymore.
Exactly.
You would think you know a person, and then the next minute you end up in a coffin.
Yeah, exactly. It's big. It's major. Why kill? Like, why?
I'm not saying anybody should kill anybody, okay?
No, yeah.
Relationships are still safe. Maybe I'm the wrong person to speak about this because I've personally never laid hands on a woman. Maybe I'm the wrong person.
But you are a perfect person, because you could be telling
Relationships are
men.
still safe. I'll tell you even a short story of mine. I once got slapped by my own girlfriend. I had more than 10,000 reasons to slap her back, but I didn't.
Because of the environment you grew up in.
Not the environment I grew in, because I understand that she's a woman. I understand that me laying hands on her is going to be another thing in this society, okay? We need to fix few things about how we are growing and how we are nurturing our kids, okay? I think I'm going to have kids one day, and God knows I wish I have baby girls. I don't wish I have boys. I wish I have baby girls. You know why? I want to teach my baby girls what it means to be an African woman. I want to give my baby girls information about their predecessors, women that were born before them, women that fought in MK wars with other strong, brave men. You know, I'm going to teach my children, my girls, right, about her ancestors. The problem is we don't really look at things the way they are. We just assume. We have to look at things the way they really, really are. There are a lot of men out there that care. There are a lot of men out there that don't want to harm any women. Now the problem is, even us, the men who are not harming the women, are considered as trash. Even us, the good men who don't want to hurt these women, we are suppressed. We can't even speak about how we feel about women anymore. We can't even make jokes about killing you, because somehow I'm gonna really kill you. Gone are the days where I say to my girl, I wish I can kill you, you bore me. She'll take that really seriously, but I'm just saying it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? Gone are those days, you know?
Do you guys think that also that the media doesn't cover much of these things, because we only had just a few cases that actually got into the media, of which Karabo Mukwena was one of them. She was very big. Everybody was talking about her. Do you think that there are other women out there that are suffering, and do you think that the media has to be more investigative of these things, or the police, or even the people themselves who are in the relationship, an abusive relationship, can find a way of getting out?
I think don't even try contacting the South African police services because they are whack. No offense, but they whack. In a relationship, okay, I've been in a long relationship, so communication is skill. Yeah, fine. In South Africa, most of these things happen with the black side, as I've heard, and I honestly think that the importance comes down to how you treat your person, how you guys communicate, how you solving a problem if you have a problem, and it weighs down to how you solve it. Because are we going to argue about it? Are we going to argue about it now, or argue about it for 3-4 months? Are we going to argue about it tonight and then pretend tomorrow as if it didn't happen? If we're solving it now, finish it now. Don't give it an extended time.
Otherwise, it builds up.
It builds up, and there's tension. You're ignoring each other. I'm not going to make you coffee in the morning because this happened last night, and I'm not going to ignore it, you see. So from the guy's side, I just think women are just scared when they make jokes like, I'm going to kill you. I wish I could kill you because you bore me. There's a fear, and all of us have a fear of rejection. Women and men, we all have that fear of rejection. So if you say stuff like that, I would take it seriously. Personally, I would. Because why would you say that? It's not even a joke. But I would honestly take it seriously, because there's a knife in the drawer, man, you know. There's a broom that you can use. You can throw me against the fridge. You can burn the house down. It comes down to that. You get all these thoughts in your mind when you're like, okay, there's a brick outside, he can throw me with the brick, or there's a telephone cord, he can switch me with that. You know, it's that kind of thing. So you must watch what you say. Because in Afrikaans we say man vat man staan, so what you say, it carries a lot of weight. So you must watch what you say. It's a massive thing.
Everybody you have had, there has been so much that have been said. We are going to take a very short break, and we're going to come back, and as much as we've discussed everything and what we think are the problems and what causes them, we need also to come up with solutions, because at the end of the day, this discussion would be pointless. So we will be back in just a few minutes.
From the sun to the moon, we go shoot for the stars.
It starts at home. Our children are growing up without father figures. Others are growing up without parents, without families. So if we can focus on our family structures, we can actually eradicate a lot of things that are happening.
We are back, and we are still talking about femicide. Off air, we had a very heated conversation, but we need to come up with solutions, because we have tried to unpack this whole issue, and there are a lot of things that people have to say, but we have to move on into the possible solutions. What do you think, guys, would be the possible solutions in order to prevent femicide? What do you think, Nicole?
Ask for help. Help is always someone who's been through it. Go to groups and leave. I would just say leave. Ask for help, and we all know it's wrong. We all know it's not supposed to be like that. So just leave.
What do you think, Nandi?
I think accountability would be one on all parties involved. Like, everybody should take responsibility for their actions within every interaction that they have, and be consciously aware of the ripple effect that they might have on somebody else's behavior. You know, like, whatever you say to somebody, know that there's going to be a reaction for it. And also, I feel like these things should be spoken about more, so that it becomes normal. Like, it's not such a taboo topic to speak about, and it's not such a touchy subject to speak about as well. Like, to normalize it in everyday conversation, and to have women that go through these things feel comfortable speaking about it. Yeah, I think that's.
Letitia, you touched on a very important point, and you said that the South African police services are not reliable. What can you say to them and about the South African law in general in prosecuting people who kill women?
Firstly, regarding the SAPS, they should get proper employees. You know, not just anyone who studied basic stuff. You need to get someone who has a degree for the specific job. So regarding this issue, it's a waste of time, because South African police services take a lot of time to sort a case out. Like with murder issues, it never gets resolved. You're just gonna say, for instance, the guy is just gonna get a certain sentence. What does he do in prison to get out of the situation he's in? Is he gonna get worse? Is he gonna get out of the situation? Is he gonna become a better person? It all comes to that, and our police services don't have that facilities. They focus on the minor things like driving around, patrolling. That's what they focus on because they are lazy to work and do their jobs. So our law, that's why women stand up for themselves, because the law takes a long time, and we've got certain rights, and some of us don't follow our rights, don't do what we're supposed to do, which leads to that kind of thing. Like, there's a lot of murder cases, not just regarding women. I mean, kids get killed out there, men also get killed, but it all comes down to the fact that people don't want to do their jobs. They just there for the title. Okay, I work at South African Police Services. They're just basically there for the title and to build themselves up using that title and not doing the specific job they're supposed to be doing.
You feel like even the training that they give them is not enough.
It's not enough. It definitely isn't. I mean, I'm not a person who watches the news, but my father keeps me up to date with that regarding, like, say for instance, looked like they burnt the Cape Town station. What do they do about that? Who started the fire? Where did the case end? It's stuff. And I mean, that is a little example regarding to what we're talking about today. What they didn't do anything about that. What are they still going to do about cases of women? It's simple thing. It all starts with simple things in order for you to grow up and get to a big thing to solve that thing out.
Sidiso, what would you think would be the solution?
The solution right now is to stop separating people. Even tradition will teach you that it has always been men one side, we teach men this stuff, women one side, we teach women this stuff. And to my understanding, that's some of the things that has caused this kind of problems in society. So we need to take both men and women, put them in one room, and let them understand each other from all angles. If it means having a social class on humanity, let's have such things. Because we need to understand each other from each other's perspective, not from the doctor or psychologist's perspective, no, from each other's perspective. You need to tell me what is it really that defines you as a woman and how should I really treat you as a woman from your perspective. I shouldn't take it from an organization that says advocates for women or a book. We should sit down as both male and female and speak about each other and how best can we solve this problem that is affecting both of us. Yeah.
You also mentioned about there are no organizations. What do you think should be done? What do you think men themselves, if you think you have a problem, that they should do in order to support each other so that they can deal with these issues before they end up in prison, before they end up being convicted of killing someone?
I'm against this man one side, woman one side notion. All right. So what I think can be done is that both men and women, right? Let us help each other, okay? Like I said earlier on, men do need a shoulder to cry on, right? But they just don't know how. So if you're a woman at this present moment, you're in a relationship with your man, here's a few advice I'd like to give you. In creation, men came before women. So anybody knows that anything that comes after any model is better than the first model. Right or wrong? If Nokia makes a cell phone now and then it makes a cell phone next year, the phone they make the following year is better than the old phone. So women are a better version of us. And with that being said, women have better understanding of us. Women need to start to use that, right? To take good care of men, right? Women need to start to use that to teach men about them.
What do men themselves have to do?
what do men have to do?
Yes.
I can't say men have to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's say people. What do people? All people have to do. Because if men sit one side and decide on this other thing, hey, what if they decide on killing women again? Okay, so it boils down to society. What should we all do? You know, I can suggest that men sit down and have the social smolanyana group where they speak about these issues. But what are the chances that they will fool themselves again?
What are the chances
You
of
know,
them being successful?
they can do that. Yes, they can and try do that. But I am against the notion of separating this two. I am against it. We are the only two. Men and women. It has always been us.
Also add, you were so quick to say that women must understand the man, women must do this for the man and teach the man how to love, but women, and then when she asked what must men do for themselves, you were so then quick to say, I'm not about the notion of separating, yet you were so quick to tell women what to do for the man, and yet the man doesn't do anything for himself.
I
Like,
think
when
I'm
does
not
the man
coming
actually
across
take
really
accountability?
clear, right? When I
You're
say women
not.
should teach men
Yeah.
about
Can you
themselves,
please simplify
I
it
think
for
the
us?
only person that can teach a man what a woman is the woman. No man can teach a man better about another woman. And the only man that can teach a woman what a man is a man.
Don't you think support from one another, because
Let's
you experience
that's what I'm saying.
things.
Let men and women support each other.
I'm talking about men. You as a man, you face similar problems with another man. If you give each other support, yes, we're not saying as women, we're just gonna stand on the side and let you guys sort everything out, but also as people who understand each other, what can you do about it and not isolate yourself?
Look, men can sit down and talk about the stuff all they want and all the time. They can do that, all right? They can do that. Okay, but I don't see how it will make them understand who they're trying to understand. It's
about
No.
understanding themselves,
Yes.
because they're the ones killing, doing the killing. So never leave the woman out of it. They should address the issue, why they feel the need to kill or take somebody else's life away, regardless of what the action to give out the reaction.
You did mention that we have to understand what the other person is like, but that's with understanding yourself. So if I have Letitia next to me and I know Letitia is a woman and I'm going through this, I'm not gonna go to you for a problem. Maybe we're talking about sex, certain things about sex, and maybe I won't go to you, I'll go to her because I relate better to her, because she
because I'm a woman.
experiences the same things that I experience. Don't you think that men also have to support each other?
Guys,
and then we can all
what
come
I'm
together.
sensing is that you'd like to hear me say men should start a group. Hey, men, start a group and organize each other. Please do that, okay? But what I'm trying to say here is, when will we start seeing the importance of working together? Okay, guys, open up a support group and do that. It's fine. But when will we start working together?
Okay. This is very, very heated, and we could be talking about this the whole day, but unfortunately we have to end right here. You have heard what our lovely panel had to say, and that if you're in an abusive relationship and you can see that you are really being abused, please walk away. And also we have Letitia has stated that the South African police services is not reliable, so the government needs to step up. And also Tsidiso mentioned that we have to be one and understand each other. Let's try to do these things. This topic will be continuing in our Facebook page, and please feel free to comment and tell us what you think. And on today's episode, we will be featuring a group called Ungu to the Fam with a song called Mama featuring Mzwa Kembuli. Thank you guys for gracing us with your presence, and thank you guys for watching, and please follow us on social media with the details are right here down the screen, and until next time, bye.
We are independent artists, so we do everything for ourselves, but we manage to push that events like the Egoruleni Comes Alive Jazz Evening could recognize us, because when opening act for the Muffins, and the Muffin was a supporting act supporting Ringo, so it was a very, very great opportunity for us as independent artists. We have worked with Power FM, we have worked with SAFM, we have worked with AA2 Lifestyle in Soweto Mfulo on their Soweto International Jazz Day. So we believe that you need to push yourself. It's never too late. You need to be patient, because this is not an easy journey, and you must leave no stone unturned. Thank you very much. Also, we have recently recorded a song with Zwake Mbuli. It's called the Anti-Gender Song. The song specifically talks about the fact that women are overlooked by certain men who have no morals and no founding principles. So that song speaks to the injustices that you see that are happening towards the female figure of the society. So the song can be found on our Facebook page. You go to our Facebook page, Uncutu the Fem, UNCUTHU, Uncutu the Fem Africa on Facebook. You'll find a link there, then you'll be able to download the song. Thank you very much. Sabulela.
Humanity say no to animals who masquerade as human beings. Say no to men who are worse than animals. Magwalandini ningama vaka. Magwalandini niasitumaza. Magwalandini niasilulaza. Magwalandini niasisambalaza. Yegana manyomfo nyomfo. Yegana manyomfo nyomfo. Ningongo muyayona. Yegana manyomfo nyomfo. Magwalandini.